Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, let's start with the price of Bitcoin. It crossed $110,000 once again. So we're seeing on the daily chart here some green candles. However, Bitcoin could still roll over and test some lows. So we want to be cautiously optimistic. I'm happy we're seeing movement upwards, but we've seen the market fake us out before. And this is where I'm saying be cautiously optimistic. Let's see what happens. Now, of course, that perspective is from the micro. From the macro, I believe we're headed to new all-time highs. Altcoins will follow, all that jazz. But right now, we're trying to see Bitcoin show strength, start grabbing liquidity, make its move to 125 to 130K, hit the overbought zone, cool down, then the liquidity rotates to the altcoins. That is what I'm looking for, guys. So let's hope, fingers crossed, this is indeed the move upwards to get out of this corrective phase after a very strong move to $112,000, setting a new all-time high. But what I'm seeing on the chart, this looks really good because a lot of people were calling the top of the market being in. Oh, it's a double top CC, right? But they don't show chart analysis. They don't share any on-chain data or macro data. They just share emotions. You're going to see them in the comment section. But as always, I'm sharing data with you all. So let's see what Bitcoin continues to do this week. Once again, my hope is that it keeps moving upwards and the RSI can probably enter the overbought zone. And once again, that maybe takes us to new highs of 125 to 130K. We'll have to be patient here and see how it plays out. But we're seeing movements across the board. The stock market is in a V-shaped recovery. Global liquidity continues to rise. The dollar currency index, the DXY, continues to show weakness and it's breaking down. All great signs. Bitcoin in the weekly chart continues to look good with the MACD still in the green zone, showing the bulls have control. The weekly RSI also was not in the overbought zone, so it has room to run here. So all these things paint a great picture for Bitcoin to continue its move. We are still in a bull market, as I've been telling you all, based on the data. So we just got to be patient and let Bitcoin do its thing. And then altcoins are going to have their day to run. But the liquidity has to enter through Bitcoin. That's just how we've seen it in the market. So let's see what happens. I hope Bitcoin doesn't fake us out because then it just makes the process longer. But if it's able to just keep moving up here, that will be amazing and very good for everyone, because even if you don't hold Bitcoin, it's going to help the altcoins. So this is great stuff. And as Bitcoin was on the move, a lot of shorts got liquidated. So the bears who are trying to short Bitcoin saying, oh, the top is in, see, yada, yada, they got liquidated. So over $110 million of shorts were liquidated today. And great chart analysis by Rect Capital highlighting the following, saying it's official, it's confirmed. Bitcoin has successfully retested $104,400 a reaccumulation range, high resistance as new support for 4 straight weeks. Bitcoin is rebounding from this new support base in an effort to transition into price discovery again. So once we cross 112K, which is the all-time high that was set recently, then we're going to head into price discovery. And that's when the fun part of the rally begins. So as always, have a profit-taking plan so you walk away from this bull market with money in your pocket. Now, folks, today was an SEC roundtable which covered DeFi. And Paul Atkins, the chair of the SEC, had some very bullish statements to make. One of the things he said is the right to have self-custody of one's private property is a foundational American value. So essentially saying the right to custody your crypto, self-custody it, is an American value. Let me play the clip for you.
Another core feature of blockchain technology is the ability of individuals to have self-custody of crypto assets in a personal digital wallet. The right to have self-custody of one's private property is a foundational American value that should not disappear when one logs on to the internet. I'm in favor of affording greater flexibility to market participants to self-custody crypto assets, especially where intermediation imposes unnecessary transaction costs or restricts the ability to engage in staking and other on-chain activities.
So you heard it straight from the horse's mouth, folks. That is very bullish coming from the SEC chair. A complete 180 from a scumbag regulator, Gary Gensler. Here's what Caitlin Long, founder and CEO of Custodia Bank, had to say about Paul Atkins' statements. She said, and with this, the SEC officially begins reversing decades of attempts to eradicate bearer assets from the U.S. financial system, which began with the UCC Article 8 in 1994 and reached its peak under Biden/Warren's war on cash. Self-custody of private property equals foundational. Now, many of you know I'm a big believer in self-custody. For years, I keep telling you guys, do not put your crypto on exchanges. And folks, my sponsor, Trezor, they make great hardware wallets that allow you to easily self-custody your crypto assets. I'm a user of the product. I use the Trezor Safe 5, and Trezor was the creator of hardware wallets. The company was the ones who created the hardware wallet. They were the first to pioneer this, even the seed phrase setup as well. They support a variety of coins, including Bitcoin, XRP, Solana, Ethereum, and all the top coins. They have a great software called Trezor Suite to help you manage all of this. They support new coins as well. They even have a hand-holding service that can help you to set up your device so you can talk to a Trezor rep. And if you use the code ThinkingCrypto, all one word, you can get 5% off your purchase of a device. So once again, guys, hardware wallets are the way to go. Self-custody is the way to go. And as Paul Atkins said there, it is your right to do that. And we've seen exchanges get exploited and much more. It's not wrong to use exchanges, but I wouldn't recommend leaving your assets on exchanges. It's just very risky. So this is why I hold the majority of my crypto assets on hardware wallets. So if you'd like to learn more about Trezor, check out the link in the description. Now, folks, I'm going to share some news that I did highlight on this morning's stream, but for those of you who missed it, I want to highlight the following. Nasdaq confirms XRP, Solana, Cardano, and XLM in the benchmark index via new SEC filing. So you're seeing demand for more altcoins, and look at the names, right? Pretty incredible. This is much more than Bitcoin. This asset class is much more than Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is a big part of it, of course. But you're seeing stock exchanges like the Nasdaq and other stock exchanges and banks and Wall Streeters are in a race to build ETF and index and financial products and pricing products and much more around these different assets. It's pretty incredible. So these things are also indications of the spot ETF approvals that I think are around the corner. So Nasdaq has officially filed an SEC Form 8K for Hashdex's Nasdaq Crypto Index US ETF, confirming it has reconstituted its benchmark index to include 4 new digital assets: Cardano, Solana, Stellar Lumens, which is XLM, and XRP. These coins are now part of the Nasdaq Crypto US Settlement Price Index, which the ETF uses as its benchmark. This is bullish news, right? I don't think I need to say more. We are just seeing all of these folks in a race, a competition to get their products launched around these different crypto assets. Incredible stuff. Now, many of you know I hold Chainlink in my portfolio. I'm very bullish on Chainlink. Well, there's some huge adoption news around Chainlink. They tweeted out, "We're excited to share that Chainlink is facilitating the secure exchange of a Hong Kong CBDC and an Australian dollar stablecoin as part of an ongoing use case in phase 2 of the EHKD Plus pilot program." They said, "Congratulations to the participants, Visa, ANZ, China AMC, and Fidelity International on their role in transforming cross-border payments." So we're seeing these blockchains being used as the rails to move value and money and different types of assets. And as I've been saying, guys, the governments, the economies, and markets will all run on blockchain rails. And you want to do your research and see which blockchains are going to be adopted by these different governments around the world and take your bets. Because in the first time in history, you can participate. You don't have to be an accredited investor. You don't have to be a Wall Streeter, a hedge fund person. You can simply be the average Joe buying some of these tokens. You can buy a fraction of them, and all you need is an internet connection and a smartphone, right? So this is how the whole system has changed. It's a paradigm shift. So very bullish news here for Chainlink. I hold it in my portfolio. I'm very bullish on this project. Moving ahead, we got news here that Tether plans to open source Bitcoin mining OS. CEO says no need for third-party vendors. So this is interesting. Let me give you the details. Stablecoin issuer Tether plans to open source its Bitcoin mining software, a move the company said would allow new miners to enter the market without relying on expensive third-party vendors. By open sourcing its Bitcoin mining OS, a horde of new Bitcoin mining companies will be able to enter the game and compete to keep the network safe, Tether CEO Paolo Ardoino said in a Monday X post. Arduino described the Bitcoin mining OS as scalable and modular, built with a peer-to-peer Internet of Things architecture at its core. The new operating system will support existing mining infrastructure, including several containers and other power devices, he said. So this is really great. It makes sense. And I think Bitcoin mining is going to enter the big leagues. You're going to see big institutions like your Wall Streeters and banks and much more, and even governments start to mine Bitcoin. It's going to become more expensive to mine Bitcoin. The difficulty rate's going to increase because you're in the last leg, so to speak, of mining Bitcoin, with the majority already being mined. And I think there's going to be a race to get as much Bitcoin as possible as Bitcoin's becoming a country and corporate reserve asset. So you're going to see the value increase, and there's going to be a lot of demand. And the United States, of course, was a big domino to fall, setting up the strategic Bitcoin reserve. Now, look at this news. Coinbase says it's reduced account lockouts by 82%. So this is good, even though while it was happening, it's bad. They were doing a lot of account freezing, and some people who didn't do anything wrong were getting their accounts freeze. So their system was clearly not working properly. Here's what CEO Brian Armstrong said: account freezing has been a major issue at Coinbase for longer than is acceptable. So yeah, for sure. He says, I could list a bunch of underlying reasons why it got so bad in the first place, but what's more important is that we've made it a priority to fix, and we have been making good progress. So this is good. Obviously, Coinbase had that data breach issue recently, and look, they made their customers whole, those who lost their money, but they got to be better. They got to invest some of that money going public and being the largest exchange in the United States, and build out their security and build out their customer service. They got to be better, right? And we got to put the pressure on them. Now, folks, we got news that the Stablecoin Bill, the Genius Act, could pass this week. So apparently, Congressman John Toon, or the Senate Majority Leader, so Senator John Toon, he's looking to get this through. And Kara Calvert of Coinbase tweeted out, grateful to the senators on both sides of the aisle who have burned the midnight oil for weeks to find a bipartisan path forward on the Genius Act. And she said, huge thanks to Leader John Toon for bringing the finish line within reach. This is what leadership looks like. So it would be incredible to have that stablecoin bill pass this week out of the Senate, folks, because if it gets passed, then it can go straight to President Trump for signatures. And the stablecoin bill is a high priority because of its impact on the US dollar and the geopolitical aspect of that, with the US dollar being the world reserve currency. So let's keep an eye on this. This could be bullish. This could be a catalyst. If we go back to the chart here of Bitcoin, to send Bitcoin to new highs, right? Just a huge macro catalyst, very bullish in the market. So let's keep our eyes and ears open. And if that happens, that would be perfect, but we'll have to wait and see. So folks, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. A great way you can support me in the podcast, folks, is by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It's on Substack. It's 100% free. Check out my book on Amazon and my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course packed with tons of value. So go to mycryptocourse.com. All the links will be in the description. Folks, thank you so much for watching and listening. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.